And talking about bureaucrats, let us go to the Waiwera Valley. And the council of the Waiwera Valley is, I imagine, the Auckland City Council. It's a small rural community just north, well, when I say just north, it's anything between 35 and 50 kilometres north of Auckland City. I'm not quite sure what it is. That's one, Google says one thing and Wikipedia says another, and so we'll find out from our next guest. And there is an intention amongst the so-called bucolic beauty of the rolling hills and pastoral splendour to erect a towering 16-metre Buddhist statue. And there are a lot of upset locals. And leading the upset is Dave Pennington, and he joins us now. Dave, welcome to the show. Love to have you on.
Thank you, Michael. I'm glad to be here.
First of all, tell me a bit about yourself. Who are you, and what are you doing in the Waiwera Valley?
So, I was originally born in the UK, as you probably tell from my accent. I came to New Zealand by choice about 42 years ago, worked in the computer industry, ended up as an independent project manager of large information systems projects. And then a few years ago, getting to a certain age, I retired. I've lived in the Waiwera Valley for about 15 years and currently reside about 300 meters away from this statue in a house that I built about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And that's me.
All right. So Waiwera Valley, just give us some indication of what that is. What is it, a small town, or is it even less than a town?
No, Waiwera Valley it's between Waiwera on the coast, on one coast, and Wainui in sort of the middle. So it's between Puhoi to the north. It's about 10 kilometres south of Puhoi. It's about 8 kilometres west of Waiwera, just west of Orewa, if anybody understands that. And it's about 10 kilometres north of Silverdale.
Right. Okay. And so I'm imagining that the people that live there are relatively well heeled. Would I be right, Dave? And they're either living on a lifestyle property or they are retired or semi-retired like yourself.
We've got a complete mix, to be honest, Michael.
Okay.
We've got people who fall into that category. We've got farmers. We've got people who are, I wouldn't say they're well-heeled. They came here by choice, a lifestyle choice maybe many years ago. And they get by, but they get by in the way anybody gets by in a rural community. So you have a complete mix of people who would be considered well-heeled. The majority of people are averagely comfortable, and a few people are doing it pretty tough. But it's a mix of lifestyle block owners, farmers, people who enjoy the rural environment.
Okay. Now I've got it. Yep, that's cool. And in the midst of you have a local Buddhist community, do you?
No, we don't. The people who are involved in this are strangely quiet about what their intentions are. We can't get a lot of information from them. One of the parties is a group called the Jettas Grove Charitable Trust, who is a Buddhist organization, and they have a property between Waiwera and Puhoi in a place called Green Hollows Road, which appears to be some sort of retreat. But they also have a property in Green Lane in Auckland.
Okay. And we're talking about Tibetan Buddhists, are we, rather than normal Buddhists?
Yes, the statue is of Guru Rinpoche, who is apparently an 8th century deity who originally came from India and was credited with establishing Buddhism in Tibet.
Right.
And
okay.
apparently a very revered figure for that particular faith.
Fair enough. So it's essentially then religious construction. It's going to be 16 meters high. What's that? That's
16 and a half meters high, about 50 feet, about the size of a 5-story building.
okay, right. And it's going to be, I'm looking at some photos at the moment, it seems to have some sort of gold paint covering. Is it going to be that sort of covering, is it?
So as far as we can see from the design documents, they are putting custom Gerard gold tiling all the way around the top of the construction, and then the statue itself will be in bright gold.
Right. Okay. And so they are constructing this in the middle of the land that they own, and it's a replication, an image of, as you say, the Guru Rinpoche. Is it? Is that the right word to know, pronunciation?
I think that's the right pronunciation. I think I've probably been mispronouncing it for quite a long time, but I will take other people's advice on that.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so it would appear to me to be then very similar to the Virgin Mary on the hills coming into Paraparaumu, a religious construction on private land. Now, is the fact that the Auckland City Council have told you that they're not going to intervene in this issue because they consider it art, is that an important distinction, being art as distinct from a religious erection?
As far as we can understand, that is exactly the loophole that the developers have managed to squeeze this through without public notification. So if I can provide you a quick extract from the certificate of compliance that they applied for, it includes the following statement. There is no definition of artwork under the Auckland Unitary Plan. However, the facility is to be viewed as a whole and is regarded as an artwork with a spiritual theme reflecting the religious beliefs of the landowner. So they've chosen the definition of artwork for this thing, and artwork is a permitted activity in the rural production zone within the Auckland Unitary Plan.
Okay. So I'm presuming then that if you decided that you wanted to, I don't know what your background is, Dave, but let's just say that you wanted to erect a 16-metre statue of the Redeemer, for example, and put it on your particular site, you couldn't do that. You're saying you'd need to go to the council to get a resource consent. Is that correct?
I would assume so, because
unless you said it was an artwork.
Unless I said it was an artwork,
and then you could go for your life.
And then you could go for your life. It would appear.
Okay. What's the problem with with all due respect, what is the problem with the statue in your view?
The problem is the size and the location. 16.5 meters is absolutely enormous. And most properties around here would be single level, so they might be 5 meters off the ground. And it's a pastoral rural environment. It's extremely beautiful. It's rolling hills, large areas of farmland, large areas of regenerating native bush, and you've got this 16.5 meter statue in the middle of it, which is nothing to do with the rural production zone. It seems to go counter to all the advice that we've been given about the priorities of rural production, which is supposed to stop urban encroachment. The other thing is it's extremely visible. So they're placing it right on the summit of a 60-meter hill, a 60-meter bare hillside. So it towers over the surrounding countryside and the land that's around here and the owners. So it's the size and the location which is the biggest issue from our perspective.
Okay. Now, the big issue here is if that was, let's just say, a cross of the same size, would you be
Hmm.
having the same objection?
Absolutely. It wouldn't make any difference at all. The statue, to my mind, the statue is the result of the issue. The issue is we've got planning bylaws which allow this ridiculous description of artwork, and the council has no way of evaluating what that means. So they've got no definition that they guide their principles on. If you call something artwork, their response is, well, artwork can be anything to anyone. So we can't say it's not artwork. We have to take a wide and generous interpretation of it. Now, to
Um,
my mind,
the
that's
surrounding,
lunacy.
okay, okay, but the surrounding country. So, who is this going to affect then? I understand it's the visibility affects or concerns you, and it's meant to be visible.
Hmm.
And you obviously consider the erection of this to be aesthetically inappropriate, but it's not going to hurt anybody, so we've got that. It's not going to make any noise. It's not a wind turbine or anything like that. It's not going to kill any birds. It's I'm struggling to see how it's offensive. The people who would be most affected by it would be, I guess, in terms of visibility, the neighbouring landowners. Are you
Yep.
one of those neighbouring landowners?